I've got Ann Washburn with me today at Live on Purpose TV to help us learn how understanding body language can help you. I always love it when I can find an expert, and I found an expert in flight simulation and explosives. This is Ann Washburn, and you've moved on from flight simulation and explosives, haven't you?
Yeah, because if that's what you want to talk about today, I better change my talking points.
It's fun that you have that background, Ann. But you're currently a speaker and presenter, and your area of expertise is in communication, and especially body language.
Yes, I am a body language expert.
Which is why you're here today. Can you help us out?
It's powerful, and it's so good because I love our topic, how understanding body language can help you. Because when I look at body language out in the world, people have these really stereotyped views of what body language even means or how it helps you. And the most important thing is to understand this. When it comes to body language or communication in general, there's really three parts to our communication. I call them our three voices of communication.
Okay.
Because we have our words, we have the tone of those words,
right,
and then we have our gestures or our body language.
Right.
And so here's how we know that there are different pieces of communication that come from each one of those. Because when you talk to somebody, say your wife, do you get in trouble more for your words or for the tone of your words?
Probably the tone.
Yeah, we more often get in trouble for our tone of voice than we ever do for the words that we speak.
Right.
And so the fascinating thing to know is when it comes to communication, the words you speak, if they don't match your body language or your tone, people actually discount the words to believe what they see. So if there's a mixed message, they discount the words. They believe them less because they're seeing something in your body language.
Right. And they're going with that or trusting it more than the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, even though they don't even realize they're doing it, because we're wired as humans to pay attention to body language. The problem is we're just not taught what the messages are that are being sent. And because how many classes in body language do you have going through school?
Well, I think the only ones I've had are the ones I attended at your facility.
There you go. And that's why I left flight simulation and went into body language, is when I learned that there's so much power in understanding your body language to improve your communication.
Right.
I changed my career because I want people to have the same shortcuts that I have in my life.
Yes.
So that's what
it's
I want
like
to share.
the cheat sheet.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You get a little inside view of things.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
And so when it comes to this miscommunication is costly in our world because we live in a world where we interact with people all the time. And in order to achieve a goal, we have to be able to interact with people along the way.
Right.
And then what really bites us is that we get miscommunication going, and now we don't understand what happened, why we're not interacting with these people, why our relationships are going down. So we need to know how to improve our communication, because when we can improve our communication, we can improve all the results of our life.
Yes.
So if you have a goal and you want to reach your goal, you have to be able to communicate better. Now, when it comes to those three voices of communication, guess which one people actually pay the most attention to if two different messages are sent?
You know what? What I was first hearing when you said that is, what one do people pay most attention? We usually pay most attention to the words when we're trying to communicate. We think that the words are the most important part.
Yep.
But the part that we really notice and pay attention to is really more of the nonverbal stuff.
Absolutely.
The body language.
In fact, studies show that when there are two conflicting messages that are sent, people will only pay attention to the words 7% of the time, and they'll take the meaning from the nonverbal the other 93% of the time.
Wow, so that's why it's so important to understand this.
That is why it's so important. And so this is how understanding body language helps you, is by knowing what messages you are sending to people. And one of the fastest ways to see this going on in your life is to give somebody a compliment. Because when you give somebody a compliment, they very often use this kind of body language.
Like they're Rejecting it.
Like they're pushing it away. Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, or they'll even say, oh, thank you.
Thank you. Interesting.
And now they don't match.
Yeah.
Because people have this belief inside of them that they don't want to take from somebody else. And so they want to not take
pushing it
even
away.
the compliment. Or if I receive the compliment, somehow I'll be prideful. We've got these mixed up programs inside of us. And so I just, one week, just for fun, I just went around giving compliments everywhere I went, just to see how people would respond.
You're doing a little study.
Yes, I was. But I didn't tell anybody.
No.
I went everywhere. I went to the grocery store. I went to my kids' school. I went to businesses. I just gave compliments. And it was fascinating to me. The majority of the time, people would reject the compliments. And sometimes it's not this blatant. Sometimes it's as simple as they suddenly need to brush their sleeve off. It's like, oh, thank you.
Interesting.
And then they're brushing it off. Or I had one time, I mentioned this in my TED Talk, I had one time I gave a person a compliment and they said, oh, thank you. And they like flicked it away. And I was like, wow, get rid of that disgusting compliment.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. And so we're constantly pushing things away. The problem is this. Our brain does not distinguish pushing away something good and pushing away something bad. And so if we're in the habit of pushing things away from us, then we actually push away a lot of good things.
And you're talking about just the motions, and it might be subconscious. We don't even know that we're doing it. Just
most of the time,
pushing it away.
Body language is like your heartbeat. Just because you don't pay attention to it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Right.
In fact, it's even more like your breathing. You can control your breathing, but as soon as you forget about it, you go back to breathing again.
Back to whatever's automatic for
yes.
you. Whatever you've practiced, really.
And that is the important words that you just said right there.
Ah.
When you go back to what is automatic.
What is automatic or programmed in, maybe.
Yeah. And so this is why when I mentor people, it's fascinating to me when they come in and they're like, I need more resources in my life. I don't make enough money. And man, I just wish my family treated me better. And they're pushing it away. And I'm like,
interesting?
Let's talk about your body language. And they're like, no, I just need to have more income. And I'm like, then you can't say it by pushing it away. We've got to change.
So it changes something psychologically if you change the actual movements. How would you suggest that someone receive a compliment? What would be the opposite?
So, okay, I'm gonna so teach you that, but I gotta just go with one thing that you just said right there, because here's something that he just said that's really important. He said that there's like a psychological connection to our body language.
Yeah.
This is why when I did that TED Talk, it's called The Key to Your Subconscious Programming.
Okay.
Our body language actually comes from our subconscious programming. And so if we upgrade our body language, it actually helps upgrade our programming inside of us.
Yeah.
Studies show that if you upgrade your body language, you usually will like yourself more.
And other people will like you more too.
Yeah, but it starts with you feeling different.
Right.
And so to receive a compliment, when somebody gives you a compliment, just imagine scooping it up in front of you and just placing it in your heart while you say, thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you.
Because now your words and your body language matched.
Right.
And it causes a lot of conflict when they don't match. People can't understand you when you are confusing by sending two different messages.
Right.
And so just that simple thing, you guys should try it too. Ready? Thank you.
Thank you.
I dare you to try it. Because I like to do little studies. So I did another little study where while I was giving people compliments, I practiced receiving them to see how people would respond.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And sometimes it was fascinating because I remember I had this one lady, she had come across the parking lot to give me a compliment about my hat. And when she gave me the compliment, I just turned to her and I said, oh, thank you. And her response was like this. You're welcome. And her shoulders went up and her chin. Yeah, she so expected me to reject it. And when I received it, her shoulders went up and her chin went up, and she was like, "You're welcome." And she just walked away like she was happier.
That is great.
But we're just so programmed in this rejection of good things.
Wow.
And so if you change, if you upgrade and you start receiving things, it changes how you feel about you, and it also changes how people see you.
Right.
So you want another quick win shortcut?
Give us another one.
All right, so here's another one. Have you ever heard of the afternoon slump?
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Yes, it's caused by gravity. I'm just kidding.
Which is always on.
It's always on.
Yeah.
And what it is in the afternoon, we start to get weighed down, and our shoulders come down and our chins come down.
Right.
And so really, if we will...
Oh, that has an energy to it.
Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as you try that, it feels...
You have to kind of let gravity...
You just let it suck you down, and you start to feel it. But now just try pulling your shoulders up and your chin just above level. Not level, but just above level.
So it's going to feel higher than normal.
Yes. It'll feel higher than normal. It feels different. In fact, most of the time we'll take a deep breath when we do that because it changes the energy. Well, it opens
things up here too.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So if you couple that one with, like, you just put your hands down to your side right here. This is what I call relaxed hands. Relaxed.
Right. Okay.
Because people often, when they have, how do I say this quickly? When they have programs running through their head where they are beating themselves up or they're comparing themselves to other people and putting themselves lower, which is what we often do, is we compare our worst trait to somebody else's best trait.
Right.
And so what we'll do is we'll close our hands in front of us. Any way you close them in front of you is called a gate.
It's like a barrier almost.
It's a barrier because we're feeling less than. We're feeling like we are weaker than we could be.
A need to protect maybe.
And so if you put your hands down to your sides, this is relaxed hands. Now, that doesn't mean walk around like this because that would be creepy.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Don't do that. Okay? But it means after you've used your hands, you can put them away here. And this is relaxed,
just
open.
Relaxed, open, ready for whatever's next.
Yeah. And the thing is this will feel really awkward to people the first times they try it. Because when I first tried this, oh my gosh, I put my hands down to my side and I was like, oh, I can't do that. That's so weird.
And then you go back to the gate.
Yeah. Because I was really afraid of people. 7 years ago. One of the reasons I went into engineering was because I didn't have to interact with people.
That's why we have engineering.
I know. And so when I was coming into this new career of being a body language expert, I had to try things for me first.
Right.
And it was really, really hard. But as I did it, here's the bonus is that as you put your shoulders back, your chin up, your hands relaxed, and your feet pointed forward, it actually causes feelings of confidence to be fed to your subconscious.
There's a whole different energy to it. You feel it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Try it.
So I hope you'll use some of these pieces that I shared with you. I hope you'll use them too.
Yes, thank you, Ann.
Because this is how understanding body language really helps you, is by knowing the messages you're sending to other people, being able to align them with your words, instead of saying, oh yes, I want more, and pushing it away, learning to just turn your hands around and say, yes, I want more.
And receive it.
And now you send a complete message and you avoid the costly miscommunication.
Yes.
So
wonderful.
Hope you guys liked that.
There you go. Was that helpful?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Nice.
Thank you.
There are so many different places in our life where understanding body language can help us. If you've liked this video, please share it.